Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid August 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aquarius collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Aquarius collective in mid-August 2026? It is still Leo season, my good friends. Let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a little peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aquarius in mid-August. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. We're going to have some fun today, my friends. We're going to have a good time. Cool. So the Helping Hands card, I really, really like this for a whole variety of different reasons. And I'm not sure what this like sleepy energy I've been picking up around a lot of the air signs this week are, but it's here for some reason. But this card does have a lot of energetic goodness attached to it. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady here wrapped up in a sheet, and she's sleeping, right? She is surrounded by these hands that seem to be forming this barrier of golden protective light. So first and foremost, this is, out of this whole oracle deck, this is one of the biggest cards of spiritual protection, spiritual insulation. Now, if you've been doing a lot of things to protect your energy in this time, this could be it as well, where it's like, all right, I'm protecting myself and calling energies in. There's like a nice bubble here, which is really good. But if we put the whole spiritual aspect to the side, I call this the Helping Hands card for a reason, right? Because although she is sleeping, these hands are assisting her. So whether there's a situation you're dealing with where maybe you need a hand, maybe you need some assistance, maybe someone asks you for help, that's very possible as well when this card is here. So there could be something about help, assistance, tips, things like that. I know it's super random, but there's something here too also about like the sleep state or dreams. So if you haven't been getting proper rest, relaxation, sleep, recharging, spirit might be urging you to do so. And definitely watch your dreams. You might want to be journaling any information or like very vivid dreams that come through. But we're just going to let her chill right there, just having that experience. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Aquarius friends. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week, my friends. It's going to be really tough to top the reading we had last week. And that's why it was titled Best Reading Ever. And there was just this lovely energy, like from front to back last week. You might want to check it out if you haven't seen. Just the energy was really, really awesome and luscious. Like all the heavy hitters from the tarot deck were there. I was feeling optimistic about the future and the things that were coming in. So I hope you had some winner victory. I hope things are starting to align for you because that's how it felt. But again, that could bleed over for a couple weeks. So I'm hoping that a lot of Aquariuses are riding some sort of energetic high. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we can be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? It's just an energetic weather report, my good friends. Let's get it going here. 3 cards for Aquarius. We're going to hope to keep it going. But you know what? Even if it's something totally different, we're cool. We are starting in a good place, though. We got the Star card, one of your power cards, and another heavy hitter in the tarot deck. I mean, we might be picking up where we left off, my good friends. Let's get a couple more. I don't want to get too overly optimistic. I know I could do that sometimes. Let's get a couple more here. Okay. Yeah, so there is this little bit of a hidden energy here in the center. We have the High Priestess. Don't dislike her. She's just shrouded. She's just hidden. She's kept out of view, if that makes sense. Let's get one more. Okay. Okay. All right, so we got the 2 of Swords, and it also popped out with another card. All right, we got the Magician. So, like, these cards play off of each other. All these cards, like, there's a little energetic knot if that makes sense. Like this one plays off of this one, and these two play off of each other, and then this one plays off of that one. It's like everything is connected. Have you ever seen like those whiteboards, like when people are doing investigations where like they put the red string from here to there? There's a meme with that too. That's how this is initially feeling. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I love to look at the elements. I feel like it lays a nice foundation and tells us how comfortable you might be with the energy. There's a lot of internal energy. There's a lot of spiritual energy. There's a lot of hidden energy this week. Now, as far as the elements go, there's a nice amount of air, which is good because Aquarius, although you are the water bearer, you're technically an air sign, right? We got air with the star and the two of swords. Cool. Then we have water right there. So this is all internal, all on the inside. And we have the magician that's master of all elements. Now, when it comes to air, that is, aside from being your power element, it's a mental approach in logic and facts, right? Like there's not a lot of fluff when it comes to air energy. It's about the facts, it's about the information. It's straightforward to the point, no nonsense. I like it. It's like a very straightforward approach, which is usually pretty good. The biggest thing and reason why air is the suit of communication is the fact that it deals with information, whether it's like giving information, receiving it, looking for it. All of it is in play with the air. Normally, I like it for problem solving as well. The downside to air is that sometimes it can make us overthink, overcomplicate. Sometimes air can also be very cold, extremely direct, and kind of surgical. So that's something to keep an eye on. But then in the center, we have the total opposite, right? So we have the high priestess, which is water. This is emotions. So it's like we have the heart and the mind, what your heart's telling you versus what logic says, right? But they do balance each other off a little bit, but I do see the air winning out so far. Now, when it comes to the water element, it can deal with partnerships. It's about emotions, right? So whether it's the emotions I feel, things that I'm emotionally invested in, things that I care about. It's great when it comes to creativity, thinking outside of the box. We like water energy. It's good for that. Any sort of artistic pursuit as well. The downside with water is that it's always moving, just like the tides. It's very much up and down, don't know where it's going to be, right? Like, so this energy can overwhelm sometimes. It's all internal. And then we have the magician over here, highly, highly spiritual, but also master of all elements. So we have an interesting energetic knot here. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the star card, which I find super intriguing because not only is this the Aquarius card in an Aquarius reading, which is always a really great sign, this is one of the most positive cards in the whole entire deck. We see the star, and it represents wish fulfillment. It's very optimistic. It's very positive. This is a card that has a lot of hope in a brighter day or hope in the future. And that's another aspect of the star. Like, sure, in an Aquarius reading, we could just say, hey, this is you, my friends. And when we clarify it, it tells us something that's coming towards you or what you might be feeling. That might be valid. But when I look at the star, I'm not just thinking about today. I'm not just thinking about tomorrow, this week, next week, or even this month. The star is big picture energy where we might be looking a year from now. We might be looking 5 years from now. The star is like long term energy and goals. So I like it for that, especially with the positivity. Now, the downside to the star, when this card flips in reverse, it could be an energy that has a little bit of depression. It could be an energy that doesn't have a lot of things to hang their hat on or hope for. So I think for a lot of Aquariuses in this time, it's super important to have things to look forward to. So we'll see. We'll see when we clarify. I think it's a great way to start, especially on the heels of the reading we had last week, right? Now, moving to the middle is where this energy does start to get a little bit cloudy because we do have the beautiful, pardon me, the high priestess, right? Pisces energy. I also give her to Cancer and Scorpio. I feel like all water signs embody some of these traits. The high priestess is the matron of psychics, intuitives, and tarot readers. She is highly spiritual. She deals with spiritual work, spiritual ritual, just like this guy over here. They're kind of like peanut butter and jelly. So, like, when I see this big emphasis, especially with the helping hands card, there's a lot of spiritual energy at play or unseen things. Right? I love her for information, but the big thing with the high priestess, aside from her connection to spirituality, she's very hush hush quiet. She knows a lot of things. She's sitting in a place of balance. She's sitting in a place of calm, but she's not speaking. So, in the positive sense, maybe this is just something that's not on the radar. Maybe it's something unexpected or surprising that we don't see coming. Very possible. Maybe it's someone laying low. Maybe you're laying low when she shows up. That's very possible as well. But she can also represent secrecy. She can also represent misdirection, right? I'm not going to go out and say it's like straight bold-faced lying, but it's like someone omitting information sometimes too. So we're going to see what's up with her. She's like a little bit of a curveball. Now, could this represent like, oh, I don't know what the future holds? Sure, like when we have this combination. But in the back end, we have the Two of Swords, and we see this person. They're on the beach. They're blindfolded. They're hoodwinked. It's nighttime. There's the moon. There's a lot of symbolism here of the unknown again. So another hidden card right after the star. Now, in the classical sense, this card can represent indecisiveness or confusion, not understanding why something happened the way it did, or not understanding the logic behind someone's moves. This card could be it. But to me, I put it as a blanket statement, mystery energy, similar to her, for better or for worse. So as you can see, there's a ton of it here in the Aquarius reading, which again doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like there could be some really great stuff here. Now, moving to the very back end, we do have the Magician. Huge card when it comes to manifesting, creating, channeling energy, spiritual ritual. But the big underlying thing, if we remove all the spiritual stuff, is the Magician wants to control the direction he's going in, right? This card does deal with control. So I'm not saying that you're dealing with an over controlling person. For some of you, maybe, but like the Magician to me is like, hey, this is where I need this to go, and this is where I need to make it happen. Watch out for anyone that's a bit of a micromanager when this card is here. And definitely pay very close attention to your energetic hygiene with all these spiritual cards. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Aquarius. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the star. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aquarius, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the star here? Why is the star here? Thank you. Oh, wow. I mean, I like it. So we do have the world in the upright, and the world is the last of the major arcana. And in the classic sense, it can represent the ending of something, the closing of a cycle. But to me, it's not like the Ten of Swords. I always say it when it comes out, it's not supposed to be pain. This is like growing pains. It's like metamorphosis. It's change, slow and steady over time. When we're looking at the star and the world, these are not right now types of energies. I'm telling you. Like out of all the ones in the deck, these are long periods of time. So whether this is showing us a situation that hasn't had its final result yet, an unfinished situation or unfinished business, that could potentially be it. But we could also be looking at big picture things like long-term goals, like, hey, 15 years from now, this is what I want to have, right? Especially if you're manifesting it. So now would be a great time to plan for not just the short-term future, but the distant future. That's how this feels to me. Now, again, this can be a completion. It can be cyclical. It can be karmic as well. But to me, for some reason, I'm just getting hit with a vast period of time for some reason. So again, the advice for some Aquariuses might be long-term planning. Don't just plan for today or tomorrow or this week. Look at the big picture when dealing with some sort of situation. And for another portion of you, this could actually be a situation that there's still more to come, where it's like, okay, there's still more. Like the star with the world. I mean, unless like if you're in a mode and mindset with something where it's like, yeah, no, I'm done with that chapter. Some of you might be in that mode, right? Like with the star and the world, it's like, okay, I learned what I needed to learn. Boom, I'm putting a stamp on it. You do have the freedom as a creator to do that, right? Even though there's energetic potential, you could put the squash on it. Same with the cross watchers, right? We're going to keep going because I feel like I can continue to talk about this front end. It doesn't make me nervous, though. Let's keep going. To me, it makes me feel like I have time, or we have time, if that makes sense. Let's see what the mystery's about, though. Let's see what these questions are. So why is the High Priestess here for Aquarius, please? Why is the High Priestess? Thank you. Wow. This is like it's similar to like a surprise party. We're not even close to your birthday, right? Like we're like 6 months away, maybe more, maybe a little less. So the Six of Pentacles to me is one of my cards that it represents giving. It represents balance, and it is one of my cards of gift giving. That's why I'm saying, like, when I see the High Priestess with the Six of Pentacles, it's like, surprise, Aquarius, here you go. Like, it's giving me the image of, like, surprise party. That's just how it feels. Now, if we were to put that message to the side, the Six of Pentacles is charitable, it's open, it's giving, it's fair, and it is absolutely a card of wins and victories. So when I see that underneath the High Priestess, it's something just working out the way it needs to, even against all odds. I know that's like some grandiose verbiage I'm using, but it's like, hey, just focus on the big picture and everything else falls into place. So with her in the mystery and the Six of Pentacles, yeah, that's like an unexpected winner victory for sure, or a surprising one. Um, but there's also this energy of things and blocks just falling into place how they need to. So we're just gonna keep going. I like it. I think it's pretty good. Well, let's go in on the Two of Swords. Yeah, if there's like a result or something you're wanting to achieve, even if you don't know how you're going to get there, it's like things just fall into place and you get there. So let's see what's up with the Two of Swords. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So we still have a decent, yeah, there it is. The Four of Wands, the 1111 card, just reiterating what we had right here in the center. Love the Four of Wands. There's this undertone of like karmic energy, right? Or the karmic or spiritual, whatever we want to say, like with the star, with the world, with the high priestess, with the magician. Now we got the 1111 card, the card of omens and signs, where spirit's trying to direct you or give you hints or give you warnings. When I see the Two of Swords with the 1111 card, for a small portion of you, the like spirit side, whether you're tapped into it or whether you're not, could be trying to get your attention and move you down a very certain direction. Others of you might be tapped into that and you might be on that purpose. You might be on that track. You might be on the direction you need to be. In case, and if that's the case, that's a good thing. Again, you don't need to have all the answers. You got to let things materialize and fall into place. But the Four of Wands is celebratory. You see the people are another card of partying, right? Like it's so funny. Like with the Six of Pentacles in this, it's like we're giving gifts, we're celebrating, we're having a good time, we're enjoying each other's company. This is a cause for celebration, my friend. So absolutely, it shows up in two places: unexpected, surprising wins and victories. It's here, which I think is good. Regardless of what the current situation is, because as the front end of the spread tells us, the current situation is not the final destination, right? Kind of need to let things fall into place. I'm still very happy with what we're seeing here. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. So, yeah, 2 weeks in a row, we got some good stuff coming in Aquarius. If you kindly look in the box position of one, we have the star with the world. We're looking at big picture energy here, not just today or tomorrow. We might be looking way down the line when the energy shows up. To me, there could be a situation that's not over unless you declare it is, if that makes sense, where it's like, all right, well, if you still want to get something from this situation, go ahead. Like there's still more. But for some Aquariuses, maybe you are in that place where it's like, okay, that chapter is complete. Let's move on to another. In the center, we have the High Priestess with the Six of Pentacles. Already mentioned, it felt like a surprise party to me. Both of these do, actually. But to me, it's a surprising or unexpected win or victory, and it shows up in two places. Now, when we get to the back end, we do have that different caveat of spirit trying to speak to you blatantly for a lot of Aquariuses, or to like give you reiteration that like, hey, you're on the right track, Aquarius, or hey, you're not. So just be aware of like the signs and omens and stuff like that. But there's just great energy here. Once again, I think it's very claimable. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got? What do we got? Cool. Queen of Cups. Very emotional. There's a lot of depth with the Queen of Cups. She does tie in more to like what we're seeing up here with the High Priestess. Now, this could be a water sign you're connected to, so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. If that's not the case, what do we know about the Queen of Cups? She is from the emotion suit and a card that ties heavily into emotion. So she is a double down of those feelings, right? Those feelers. So in this time, there might be certain things that you're feeling or processing that may be very unusual compared to how you normally process things. That's very possible for a lot of Aquariuses when this shows up. Or this is someone where it's like, this thing's hitting me deep, it's hitting me hard, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. The good thing about the Queen of Cups, she's nurturing and loving and caring. She's great for self love as well. But the downside, the shadow side of her, aside from like the big emotional swings, watch out for those with her. Sometimes she can suppress and push things down. So I would say in this time in particular, watch out for too much emotional suppression of any kind, where you need some sort of release valve for the energy. So we're just going to let her chill right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The August calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the August subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 winners at random to either choose the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, which is an absolutely stunning deck, or one of the custom made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in your reading today, which one intrigued you the most? Which one caught your attention and why? And you put that in the comments, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab / post tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.